the golden calf. When the people of Israel saw that Moses wasn't coming down from the mountain of Sinai straight away, they gathered around Aaron, and they said to him, "Can you make us gods to go before us, because we don't know what's become of this Moses who led us out of the land of Egypt?" So Aaron said to them, "Break off the golden earrings which your wives, sons and daughters have in their ears, and bring them to me." So all the people broke off their golden earrings and brought them to Aaron. He took them from their hands and melted the gold and fashioned it with a tool into the shape of a calf. "Let this be your God, O Israel, which brought you up out of the land of Egypt," they said. When Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and he made a proclamation. "Tomorrow I announce a feast to the Lord." They got up early the next morning, and they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play.
And what is peace offerings?
Well, that is to celebrate your peace with God. So you see, what they were doing, they were pretending that everything was all right between them and God, when it wasn't, and they were mixing the worship of the true God with worshipping an idol. And that's always our temptation.
The idol is also a statue that stands and they think it has all power, but it doesn't. That's just standing.
That's a statue.
And they were offering just simple ones, which were just not peace offerings, but offerings
to their idol.
And the idol is still, because that's a statue.
And so what this shows is that we can't mix worshipping the true God with doing what we want to do. And that's what Israel kept doing, and that's going to be our continual temptation, to want to serve God but actually just do what we want. Whereas we've got to serve God in the way that he asks us to. So Moses is up the mountain while all this is going on. So God said to Moses, "Go down, for your people whom you've brought out of the land of Egypt have gone terribly wrong. They have turned aside from the way I commanded them to go. They have made themselves a golden calf and are worshipping it. They've made sacrifices to it, and they're saying, 'This is your God, O Israel, which brought you out of the land of Egypt.'" God said to Moses, "I have seen this people, and they are a rebellious people. Now leave me alone, so that my anger may grow hot against them. I will destroy them and make of you a great nation." But Moses begged the Lord his God, "Lord, why are you angry against your people, whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt by your great power and mighty hand? The Egyptians are going to say he led them out as a trick to kill them in the mountains and to destroy them from off the face of the earth. Turn away from your fierce anger against your people. Remember Abraham, Isaac and Israel, your servants, to whom you promised by your own self that you would multiply their seed like the stars of the heaven, and give this land that you've promised of to their children, and that they would inherit it forever." So the Lord changed his mind about the evil which he planned to do to his people. So you see from that then that God is open to our prayers. He said that he was going to destroy his people and make of Moses a great nation.
And he did.
Well, he was going to, but Moses prayed to God, and God changed his plan with them. And also the Lord changed his mind about the evil which he planned to do to his people. That shows that evil, in the sense of disaster and punishment, comes from God. Now, there are some people who think that it's only good things that come from God, and the evil in that sense comes from somebody called Satan, but that's not what the Bible says. God was going to bring the evil upon them. So Moses turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tables of stones in his hand. The tables were covered with writing on both sides and were the work of God. And the writing...
He throwed it down in a smash.
That's right. And the writing was the writing of God engraved upon the stones. So very, very holy. When Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, "There's a noise of war in the camp." No, Moses said, it is not the voice of those who sing for victory, nor those who cry in defeat, but the noise of those who sing do I hear. As soon as he came near to the camp, he saw the golden calf and the dancing. And Moses' anger became hot, and he threw down the tables from his hands, and they broke at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf which they had made and burned it in the fire, ground it to powder, and sprinkled it upon the water, and made the people of Israel drink it. Moses said to Aaron, "What did the people do to you that made you lead them into such a great sin?" "Do not be angry," Aaron said. "You know the people, that they're bent on doing wrong and being mischievous. They said to me, 'Make us gods which shall go before us, for we don't know what's happened to Moses, who led us out of the land of Egypt.' And I said to them, 'Let those who've got gold break it off.' So they gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and there came out this calf." Now that wasn't true, was it? He didn't just take their gold and throw it into the fire and it turned into a calf that jumped out of the fire. He made their gold into a calf. So he lied. And when we are naughty, when we do what is wrong, it's very, very important that we accept what we've done wrong and that we do not tell lies to try to cover it up. The next day Moses said to the people, "You have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up to the Lord. Perhaps I can get forgiveness for you for the sin that you've committed." So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, this people have sinned a great sin and have made gods of gold. But please forgive their sin, and if not, then blot me out of the book that you have written." The Lord replied, "Whoever has sinned against me, him I will blot out of my book. Go now and lead the people to the place I have told you of. My angel will go before you, but when I punish, I will punish the people for their sin."
So in that case, if he said, "I will block me out of your book," in a way, God was a bit like an author.
Well, that's right, and it's called the Book of Life. The list of names of people...
And they're sort of leading us to God.
That's right. But the Book of Life is the list of the people who will be in God's kingdom. And Moses loved Israel so much he was willing for his name to be taken out of the book so that they could go in. So that was an amazing love. He really loved the people.
And if his name had been blotted out of the book, it would have meant that he wouldn't be in the kingdom.
That's right, but he will be in the kingdom by God's grace.
And people didn't believe in God, just leaving idols, to be in God's kingdom.
That's right, you can't be in God's kingdom if you believe in idols like they did. So the Lord punished the people with a plague because they had made the calf which Aaron made. And God said to Moses, "Depart, you and the people you've led up out of the land of Egypt, and go to the land which I promised to Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob for their children. My angel will go before you, and will lead you to a land flowing with milk and honey. But I will not go with you myself, because you are a stubborn and rebellious people." When the people of Israel heard these words, they cried, and none of them put on their ornaments. Moses took the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, and set it up outside the camp, some way away. And whenever Moses went out into the tabernacle, all the people rose up and stood at their tent doors and looked at Moses as he walked by them until he had gone inside it. Then the pillar of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tent of meeting, and the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. And when Moses returned to the camp, his servant Joshua remained each time in the tent. So God spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. And yet God also says and told Moses that no man can see his face. So when we're told that God spoke face to face with Moses, it really means that an angel spoke face to face with Moses. And the angel carried the name of God. So to talk to an angel face to face was, as it were, to talk to God. Now, it doesn't mean the angel was God. And it's the same with Jesus. It's the same with Jesus. Jesus had the name of God, and we can talk with Jesus, and it's as if he's being like God to us, but he's not God himself.
And it wasn't really God himself, because God sent an angel
That's
from
right.
heaven.
That's right.